Hi, good day to everyone. Hope that you are doing good. The intention of this recording session is basically to provide you a guide how to write an invention or even innovation paper. All right. So basically, when we start to talk about the innovation paper or invention paper, just to give you some brief idea, what is invention paper or innovation paper? Um, Basically is to discuss what you have invented or what sort of invention that you had come come up, right? And basically we want to put that into a writing, right? So I'm sure that you already done the invention, or even you have an innovation where it's a working prototype maybe, right? But then we want to put it into a write-up so that people can understand what is your research, what is your invention, what is your innovative ideas are all about, right? And you have to understand that this is not a typical academic paper, right? But however, YIJ still recognize such kind of invention or innovation paper, right? Now, invention innovation paper is basically a distinctive and sometimes would not be qualified as academic paper. This is what I mentioned to you previously, right? So academic paper, they have their, it has its own style of writing, it has its own style of communicating your findings to the readers, right? However, for YAG, we will accept a paper on your invention to solve specific problem, right? However, you have to make sure that you have taken into consideration of any intellectual property issues, right, such as patenting, right, when you decided to publish your invention, right? For example, the information below, right? So you just can, I think this PPT also will be provided to you. So once you get this PPT, you can go and search through, right? Look through into some of the information about patent, right? So if you, let's say that you intend to patent your innovation or even invention, right? So you better have a look, right? What does it mean by intellectual properties and everything? Now, let us dive deep into the components of the invention or innovation paper, right? That's where basically you will be evaluated. Your papers will be evaluated. We start with the first part, which is the abstract, right? The Regardless any type of paper, right? It can be academic paper, it can be a review paper. All type of papers, they have the abstract, right? For this competition, we have decided that we want to limit the abstract from 250 to 300 words. Usually, a standard abstract will be around 200 words to 250, right? But maybe some of you first time writing abstract and everything, so we still give some liberty, right? And then we provide up to 250 to 300 words for you to write your abstract. Now, what there should be contained in the abstract? You should start your abstract, writing your abstract, by one sentence of general statement of your research, what is your research is all about, or something very general related to your research, right? And followed by one sentence of specific problem statement, right, of your research, which will give a clue for you to write the next sentence, which will be your objective, right? So you must have your problem statement, which it should pave, a way for you to come up with the next sentence, which is your objective, right? So one sentence of your research objective, that will be the third line or the third sentence, and then followed by key methodologies, right? So you might have like about 5 to 6 methodologies, but you do not want to write everything in detail. Maybe you summarize or you write down one or two which are very important, right? And then followed by key findings and discussions. Not all the findings or not all the discussions, maybe very important, very relevant key findings and discussions which you think that it is very important for you to communicate to the readers, right? And lastly, you sum up with the conclusion and the significance of the research. So this is what it should be containing in the abstract. So basically, abstract is not a summary, but it's some sort of a brief explanation of your research, highlighting the key findings, key methodologies, key findings, and key discussions, as well as the significance of the research to the readers. Right? That's basically what the abstract is all about. And next, we move on to the introduction. The next section of your paper should be introduction as well as background, right? An introduction and background to the problem you are trying to solve, right? So you need to what is the problem, what is the problem statement, what is the research problem that you wanted to solve, but just give some brief idea what is this problem. All right, so how was the problem created, or what was the problem, how was it created, right? Is there any way of doing things better? So these are the things that you need to provide, right? You can write a one paragraph, or maximum that you could provide the introduction, the background of the problem statement or the research problem. Maybe maximum is about two paragraph, right? And who it will affect the most, right? You can write, these are some of the things that you can provide in the background information, right? So it will, who it will affect the most, right? How much does the problem cost to the community, maybe the environment, or and so on, right? Etc. and so on. So these are some of the information that you can provide for your introduction. Remember, the introduction, the background that you're discussing should not be more than two paragraphs, right? And then this should be followed by what are or were the attempts made by others to solve such problem. All right, this could be followed by the next paragraph, the third paragraph maybe, right? And what is the success rate for these attempts and other related areas? So these things you can discuss in the third paragraph, and then followed by here is where you want to introduce the problem statement as well as the objective of your research, right? So you have given all the background, right? About three paragraphs of the background, right? Which will lead you to summarize or lead you to write down your problem statement in the fourth paragraph, right? Problem statement as well as the objective. So write down the clear problem statement. What is the problem, right? What is the research question that you wanted to address here? What is the problem statement? What you would like to solve it here, right? State the problem statement at the end of the paragraph, as well as the objective of your invention, right? Or in your innovation very clearly, right? In the fourth paragraph, right? So this should be what you should you should be writing for your introduction. Okay, then next section will be the methodology, or what we call as procedure. All right, so here you have to write down a detailed step by step, right, way how you have done your experiment, right? How you proceeded your invention, how do you measure its success, right? Talk about what worked, but also on what did not work. So you have to provide both, right? So basically, when we talk about procedures, so these are the things that you should be included, right? Of course, you should have the materials as well as the method how you have done your experiment, right? So the materials and the methodology used for your invention must be explained in detail, right? That's including the cost breakdown, right? So what are the materials that you have used, the cost breakdown. And even if you say that, let's say that you are using a plastic container, right? So maybe you wanted to tell what is the dimension of the plastic container that you have used, right? Or what material of the plastic container, right? Or what some maybe some detailed information about all the materials that you have used, right? And if possible, provide layout diagram of your complete invention. Maybe some of you are working on IoT, Internet of Things. Maybe you're working on the Raspberry Pi and so on. Maybe you wanted to provide very detailed layout diagram, right, of your invention. Okay, so that's about the method and methodology. All right, so it should be very detailed, and if possible you also wanted to provide the brand as well as where they are made from. All right, maybe you can provide that in the parenthesis. Let's say, like, you are using a specific container. All right, so you want to give the dimension of the container, and then you want to, in the parenthesis, you want to say that, okay, the brand is maybe a Tupperware, and it was made in where, Switzerland, maybe, and so on, right? So that was the material and methodology part. Then we move on to the results and discussion. Now, the results, basically you have to write down what you have observed, right? The result of your study, your product, and the test conducted, what you have observed, what you have obtained. That's basically what you have to show it in this part, right? You can use a diagram, you can use a table to illustrate your results. Okay, basically the result part, you just uh, document your observation. The result part, basically you document your observation. How do you document it? You can document it using diagram, you can document it using tables, whichever way which you think that it's convenient for you to communicate your result to the readers, right? Then when we talk about discussion, you discuss it, why you get such results, right? Is this result considered valid? How did you validate this result? All right. Have any experiment, similar kind of experiment done before, and comparing your work and the work of others? What is the differences, right? And how can you validate? How can you assure that what you are getting is the right result? That's what it should be coming into your discussion. Okay. The next section that it should be in your paper is where the application, application of your invention or your innovative idea. All right. So what is the real world application of your invention? Right? Have your invention or innovative idea been testified? Right? How did you test this in the real world application? Right? Maybe you can provide the testimonial of the people that you have tested, or you can provide a proof of test, right? How you have tested this and everything. So basically in this part you have to explain about the application of your invention, the real world application, right? Not on the theoretical part, but the real world application. The next part that it should be in your um, a research paper, your invention and innovation research paper, is where it should be implication to the society. What is the implications to the society, right? What are the significance of your invention, right? How it may help the society in a broader context, in a long run, right? So what it should be, benefiting the society. It could be, when we talk about society, it could be public, right? The normal public. It could be what do you call academic, right? Or it even could be any community, right? It could be academia, it could be student, it could be any community in the public. How it will benefit, or even government, right? How it can the implication, or how it can help the government to overcome certain problems, right? Depending on your invention and innovation, innovative idea. And the next part is the conclusion, right? So your paper also should have the conclusion. So conclude the result and your findings of your paper in your conclusion, right? So you write down the overall, what you can conclude about your your research or your invention or even your innovative idea. All right, so based on this, I have invented this. All right, this is how it works. This is how, it it will solve the problem. This is how it can help the society, and this is the significance of the my invention. Right, so this is how you should conclude your um, research paper. Right, so how you may further yeah. Another thing that you can discuss in the conclusion is how you may further improve your invention or innovation idea in future. Right, so you already have a prototype right now. What can you add in? What can you improve further so that it become much more better? So maybe you want to write down that in the conclusion. Okay. And lastly, of course, the acknowledgement and references, right? So you may wanted to acknowledge, recognize the help that you have received, right, from your friends, family, whoever had helped you to come up with your prototype, come up with your innovation idea, come up with your inventions, and so on. All right. And of course, lastly will be the references. References, we want it to be written in the APA. You can refer back to the the Word document that will be sent to you. So we want it in the APA style, all right, and then it should be in the alphabetical order. All right, so it should be included at the end of the paper. All right, and you have to understand also, when you write down a reference, that means your paper need to be cited appropriately. All right, so in the body of the paper, it has to be cited appropriately, followed by the references at the end of the paper. All right, so I think I had pretty much explained to you how to write invention innovation paper. All right, so when you register for this competition, you will be also provided a docket of this PPT, as well as the Word document. All right, that it has all the sections. Right, you just need to start to write inside the section, so I'm sure you won't be missed out any of the area where you will be evaluated. All right, so I wish you all the best, and thank you.